The Sig Sauer P365 is one of the most popular concealed carry pistols of all time, but there are a lot of variations among the P365 family, and not all of them fit in the same holsters. So how can you tell which holster will fit in your SIG P365? This guide should help you choose the correct size holster for your P365, XL, X, X-Macro, Spectre, Spectre Comp, P365 Rose, and more. We'll also discuss a few of the most popular aftermarket frames, but note that this guide is for the polymer framed P365s only, without lights or lasers attached. PHLster does not make holsters for metal framed P365s such as the P365 AXG Legion or aftermarket metal frames. Now, in general, most of these fit tolerances will be true for the vast majority of holster companies out there, so if you plan to purchase your P365 holster elsewhere, you can still use this video as a helpful guide, but keep in mind that there may be slight differences in fit tolerances across the board. The first step in finding a holster for your P365 is to determine which model you have. Most pistols have an engraving on the slide that tells you the model. However, many of the P365 models have the same slide engraving, even though they're all different sizes. Naturally, this leads to a lot of confusion because they don't fit in the same holsters. So the best way to find out which model you have is to contact SIG's customer service. You'll want to have your serial number ready, and they should be able to tell you your exact model. If you do happen to have the original box handy for your gun, you can also check the manufacturer's sticker. Both of these guns say P365X on the slide, but they're two totally different models and do not fit in the same holsters. The gun on the left is a P365X, and the one on the right is a P365 X-Macro. Holsters for these two cannot be switched and are not interchangeable. General holster guidelines within the P365 family. There are 4 main holster builds within the P365 family, and while there are dozens of different polymer framed P365 models, most of them will fit in one of these 4 basic holster categories: P365, P365-380, P365 XL, and the P365 X-Macro holster. Let's dive into each one of those and determine which guns fit in which holsters. The P365 holster. The holster for the smallest of the P365 family will fit the original P365, the P365 SAS, and the P365X. The P365-380 holster. While the P365-380 is similar in overall size to the 9mm P365, the 380 version of the P365 has slightly different slide dimensions and will only fit PHLster's P365-380 specific holsters. The P365 XL holster. The P365 XL holsters have a longer muzzle to fit the longer slide and will also fit the P365 XL Rose Comp, the P365 Spectre, and the P365 XL Spectre Comp. The P365 XL holster will fit a P365 or a P365X, but the holster will be longer than the gun, so you'll have a little extra space at the muzzle end of the holster. Some folks really prefer that extra holster length for the KEEL effect, but don't order a longer holster unless you know for sure that's what you want. Keep in mind that longer holsters can increase muzzle printing or below the belt printing in tight-fitting clothing like leggings. P365 X-Macro holster. The P365 X-Macro holsters are built differently in order to accommodate the rail in front of the trigger guard on the X-Macro series pistols. They'll fit the X-Macro and the X-Macro Tac Ops. They will not fit any of the other P365 models without the rails such as the P365 or the XL. Now let's go for Enigma compatibility. All the variants listed on the screen here will fit the Enigma Express for the P365. They will also fit the PHLster skeleton holster for the P365, but make sure to choose SIG P365/P365X from the drop-down menu on the product page. The P365X is identical in frame and slide size to the P365 and shares the P365 holster. The only difference between the P365 and the X is the length of the grip, which does not affect holster compatibility. Keep in mind that all PHLster holsters will fit slide-mounted pistol optics or red dots, such as the SIG Romeo 0, Holosun 407 or 507Ks, and other similar pistol-mounted optics. PHLster holsters do not fit lasers, however. All these variants listed on screen will fit the Enigma Express for the P365 XL. They will also fit the PHLster skeleton holster for the P365 XL. And same thing here, you'll want to choose SIG P365 XL from the drop-down menu on the product page. But note that the P365 and the P365X variants have the same frame size as the P365 XL and can share the same size holster. The only difference is the length of the grip. Using a longer P365 XL holster for your P365 or P365X variant means your holster will extend beyond the barrel of the gun. By default, we recommend most users choose a holster that fits flush with the barrel end of their gun. However, if you require extra muzzle length for the KEEL effect, you may choose a P365 XL size holster for your P365 or P365X. And if you're not sure what I mean by KEEL effect, then you'll want to watch this video next. The P365 XL Rose Comp in 9mm. First, you want to double check and make sure you have the SIG Rose in 9mm, not 380, as they're totally different sizes. If you have the SIG Rose in 9mm, it is identical in size to the SIG P365 XL, so you can choose P365 XL holster in the drop-down menu. The P365 Rose may go by different names and may be called the P365 Rose Comp, the XL Rose Comp, the XL Rose, the XL Rose Comp Romeo 0 Elite, or similar. All of these variants are identical in size to the P365 XL as long as they are 9mm and not 380. The P365 XL Rose Comp will fit the Enigma Express for the P365 XL. It will also fit the PHLster skeleton holster. Just make sure to choose SIG P365 XL from the drop-down menu on the product page. Because the P365 XL Comp Rose is longer than the regular P365, it will not fit in our holster for the P365. So if you order the shorter P365 holster, the gun will actually bottom out and you won't be able to insert it fully. The P365-380 Rose. The SIG Rose in 380 caliber is a slightly different size than the entire rest of the P365 family. It will only fit in our P365-380 specific holster. The 380 and 9mm versions of the P365 are not interchangeable. All the variants listed on screen will work with our P365-380 holster. The 380 Rose, the 380 Romeo 0 Elite, and P365-380 and Enigma Express for the P365-380 and the PHLster skeleton holster for the P365-380. Keep in mind though that PHLster holsters do not accommodate lasers, which are mounted on the lower portion of the gun, but only accommodate optics, which are mounted on the top of the slide. Now again, the P365 X-Macro is a completely different frame size than the rest of the P365 family. It will work with PHLster's P365 X-Macro holster only, and it's not interchangeable with any other P365 holsters. The following variants on screen will work with PHLster's P365 X-Macro holster. The P365 X-Macro will fit the Enigma Express for the P365 X-Macro, and it will also fit the PHLster skeleton holster for the P365 X-Macro, but you just want to make sure to select SIG P365 X-Macro from the drop-down menu on the product page. Because SIG changed the frame dimensions for the P365 X-Macro, it will not fit a holster made for any other P365, and no other P365 variants will fit in the X-Macro holster. They're not interchangeable. Aftermarket grip modules and frames. The following aftermarket grip modules are identically sized to their respective P365 variant and will work with the holster for that variant. If you don't see your aftermarket device on this list, then assume it will not fit. As a general rule, if the aftermarket grip module is made of polymer and identical in dimension to its P365 variant, it will probably fit the PHLster holster for that variant. If the aftermarket grip module is made of metal or has any frame or slide parts that are different from the standard dimensions, it will not fit. That includes things like gas pedals, extended slide or magazine releases, reshaped trigger guards, light and slides, large serrations, grip ledges, etc. Mischief Machine and Icarus Precision grip modules will not fit PHLster holsters. When it comes to aftermarket equipment, if you're in any doubt, assume it will not fit. Now, in general, most of these fit tolerances will be true for the vast majority of holster companies out there, so if you plan to purchase your P365 holster elsewhere, you can still use this video as a helpful helpful guide, but keep in mind that there may be slight differences in fit tolerances across the board. Hopefully this video was the deep dive P365 holster guide you were looking for. Please feel free to look at the rest of this YouTube channel to learn even more about the basics of concealment mechanics and how to apply them to your specific body type and gun combination. Or visit us at PHLsterholsters.com. Wow, try saying P365XL 1,000 times fast.